We then go outside to find out that Klaus did all of this just so he could get $20. $20. Maybe that isn't an important part of the story, but I just cannot believe that with the abilities Klaus has, that, and he's a reckless nut. So the abilities he has, that's his best way to get 20 bucks. He could have got 20 bucks 100 different ways. He could have like seen a ghost and like said, hey, I don't know. He could have done anything and done it much easier and much faster. He went through all that to help number five for 20 bucks. And I know Klaus didn't just help him because he's nice. Right now, not that Klaus isn't a nice guy, but right now Klaus is all about Klaus. I need my fix, I need my drugs, I need my money. He isn't going to go, let me spend half a day helping number five over here, because that probably would have took hours. And he could have easily have scammed someone or sold something else. Now he's cut, he's bleeding, now he's injured. On top of the fact that he didn't get the 20 bucks because number five teleports into a taxi cab and drives away. So now Klaus is bleeding from his head, moneyless, drugless, and he still doesn't have the pearl inlaid thing that Pogo wants back. Still don't know if that's going to come back to play, but Pogo made it sound like that was important, and I'm willing to bet there's more to that. We then go to Vanya's apartment, and Vanya is getting a knock on the door, and it is Leonard. Leonard, I don't trust for shit. I don't know why, but Leonard looks like one of those guys that they want you to think is going to change her life and be a romantic connection, which it still might be too. But I believe Leonard is somebody's son or somebody that is trying to infiltrate their Umbrella Academy. Vanya is the sheltered one that has like really no love, and everyone kind of excludes her. And even though they talk, some of them talk to her, like they all hate her for writing that book that like revealed their abilities and revealed the Umbrella Academy. No one really trusts her. So she to me is probably the weakest emotionally because of that. So maybe Leonard is a villain or something that is placed there to attack her vulnerabilities. I could be totally off the reservation here, but I believe that Leonard is evil. Could be wrong. But he's there for violin lessons. So she gives him some lessons, even though he is a lot older than the people she gives lessons to, which she comments. This also leads me to believe that something's weird. Also, when she starts giving him the lessons, he seems to pick it up really quick. It is their first lesson, and he's already like playing with very few mess-ups. So all these things are pointing in the direction of something is not right with Leonard to me. I don't know. And then at the very end of their little visit, he tells her, hey, by the way, I own a woodworking shop in town. You should come check it out. Like, that's pretty forward that you've met this girl one time. She's your instructor, and you're already like, hey, come check out my shop. It's like, I don't know. Everything about him just strikes me as odd. We then see that Luther, doing some investigating, finds a gym. At the gym, he asks a bunch of questions, and the guy says, oh, Diego, he has an office in the back, and he mops the place up for free as long as we give him an office in the back. So Luther goes snooping around. Diego comes back. He has a little tripwire down on the bottom of the door. He knows someone's in there, but he doesn't know who. Cracks the door a bit, knows it's Luther somehow. He says he smells him. Throws his dagger in and wings it past Luther's ear. Luther's like, dude, you almost killed me. And he goes, I knew it was you. That basically was a warning or whatever, just to screw with Luther. Honestly, I gave Diego a lot of crap in episode 1. I don't know what it was. Something right off the bat struck me off with him. But I like him much better in this episode. I even like him better than Luther. Not because Luther's bad, just because Luther is just doing nothing. He doesn't show his abilities. I know he's probably got an amazing ability. He's probably super strong, obviously. I am assuming he's got a suit on. You never see his body. He's always thrown on jackets. He's always got a shirt, multiple layers on. Something's up with Luther. Up and through episode 2, we don't know what it is. And he is honestly becoming almost semi-annoying in the sense that he's just like always running around like, wah, you did this, you did this, you did this. Like, so far, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just everyone else has got so much more going on. Allison and Luther right now have nothing going on. That we don't know we know of their abilities, but like only saw them as children. We have not seen them use their abilities yet in the real world. Even Ben Ben is dead and hasn't used his abilities, but he's still fascinating because he turned into like some crazy creature. But Klaus is huge in this episode, like a lot of to do with Vanya. And number 5 is by far the biggest deal in the show. So that's basically the 7 people. I got to put someone at the bottom. And right now, Luther and Allison are at the bottom because they're not doing nothing. I'm sure that'll change by probably next episode. Diego, I am learning to love Diego. It might go up from there. I don't know. Diego, though, and he's a boxer. I love boxers. So then we see Allison upstairs crying in the attic. Then in walks Pogo. Pogo is like, I know this is where you come when you're sad. She goes, how'd you know I was sad? He said, Miss Vanya told me. And then he goes, come with me, Allison. I got to show you something. He takes her into a room full of cameras where apparently they record everything in the house all the time. Whether or not they're still recording it, I don't know. I'm willing to bet he stopped recording when Reginald died, the father, but we don't know. Pogo, I don't trust either. But Pogo, I don't trust in almost a positive way. Like, I think Pogo knows everything, and it's like he's trying to reveal it to the kids, because then we see he left Allison in the room and he goes, yeah, if you want, feel free to look at all these tapes. And I just so happen to leave a tape on top that's unmarked because the side's ripped off. And Allison looks at it. We don't see it. All we hear is her say, Dad, and something's happening and we don't know. So now in the first episode, I wasn't sure whether Pogo was good or bad, but I knew there was more than meets the eye with him. And we find out that it still doesn't mean he's positive or negative, but he's helping Allison solve the mystery of what I believe is how the father died. Whatever it is had to be the reason that the father died, because we see at the end that she grabs Luther and basically says, Luther, you need to see this. Dad didn't kill himself or something to that effect. But whatever it is, Pogo left the tape there for a reason. He wouldn't have brought her into the room, showed her these videos, said, hey, feel free to do this. Is he showing her because he's trying to set her up? Or is he showing her because he wants her to figure it out? I don't know. It could be good or bad. We don't know yet. But right now, I didn't trust Pogo in episode 1. I still don't trust him now. But I'm leaning more towards the good than the bad with him, as opposed to Leonard, where I think he is bad news bears. We then see what is actually my favorite part. I'm sorry. I forgot the end. We find out that number 5's 30-year love. Oh, that's right. I forgot that part. When Klaus was sitting on the steps with number 5, he's talking about how number 5 needs to get laid and blah, blah, blah. And then number 5 proceeds to say that he did find someone in the future and lived with them for 30 years. And Klaus is like, holy crap, I haven't had a relationship that lasted longer than 3 weeks. Klaus, hilarious. Number 5 says he's been with a girl for 30 years in the future. So I'm like, oh, all right. So he clearly did get laid, right? No, it's a mannequin. He's in love with a mannequin. Like, I'm hoping that there is more to this. And I immediately thought that maybe whoever he loved somehow got turned into a mannequin in the future. But then how did the mannequin get back to the department store? He's in love with a mannequin. I think he's in love with a mannequin, because I was hoping that it was someone, possibly somehow someone had a power and ability that could turn you into like plastic or a mannequin. But now that I just thought of it, how the heck could she be back in the department store in the past? He's in love with a mannequin. Everyone in the world is dead and he's in love with a mannequin. That's the only way it works. I'm just realizing this now. Sorry. I thought I went into this video thinking one thing, and now I just realized that doesn't make sense. Let me know if I'm missing something, but it's gotta be, because then they have the whole shootout in the department store. He is dragging the mannequin all over. The future assassins blast the mannequin in half. So now it is a torso, which is very important for the end. Now he's running around, he's teleporting, boom, 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 teleporting himself to different points of the mall. He then grabs a garden tool and then teleports next to one of the guys who I thought was Mary J. Blige and slices their throat, kills him, boom. Number 5 is not afraid to murder people. He is just killing people left and right. As far as I know, he's the only one with a death count right now. Running through the store, dragging the mannequin around, realizes he has drained his abilities. He cannot teleport anymore. So he is screwed because he's got Mary J. Blige and Hazel running after him. Cha-Cha. I keep calling her Mary J. Blige. It's Cha-Cha. Keeps running after him. He jumps over the bar, runs across the thing. They've got him locked in their sights, and up drives a cop. By the time they look back, he's gone. They assume he teleported, but he didn't. He is hiding behind the counter, but they split anyway because they don't want to deal with the cops, and they just assume he's gone. They can't push their luck. They got to get out of there. Number 5 is hiding behind the thing, and he's got Dolores, his mannequin. He's in love with a mannequin. We then see that the only other people with a kill count, the future assassins, murdered the tow truck guy. I, for a little while, was thinking that the future assassins were good people and that they were going back to stop number 5 because they want to not have time altered. They killed the tow truck guy. So clearly they don't care about changing the past, and they're mean and horrible people. The tow truck guy did nothing. They had to have realized this at that point. They had to have realized after torturing him as much as they did that he wasn't lying. And even if they didn't and they thought there was a chance he was lying, there was other ways to figure it out. They could have left him tied up and went and checked on the kid. They have no morals, no sympathy. They just kill whoever's in their way. So I have no sympathy for these people now. I hope they all die, and whatever number 5 does to them, I could care less at this point. I mean, I hope he murders them all. Both episodes, the last 2 scenes involved the future assassins at number 5, and it was amazing. Totally loving their whole spiel, and I hope it continues. Then we go back to the house, and we see number 5 there packing a bag. He goes to leave. Luther and Allison are walking down, and they see him. Now, this struck me as very odd. Luther reaches out to number 5. Like, he reaches out to number 5, and it's right near his face. Now, I am very big into Lost and shows like that and theorizing. Now, Luther goes like this near number 5's face. And number 5 immediately grabs his hand like this and stops him. Now, it's really close to his eye. I immediately thought, like, it is now the future where the world ended, and we see a hand sticking up out of the ground, and it's an eyeball. Number 5 runs over, grabs the eyeball out, and we see that it's Luther that is holding the eyeball. Like, I'm assuming we are led to believe that Luther yanked out the guy's eye. That was the guy that ended the world. So whoever the guy was in the Umbrella Academy, and that was probably ground zero of the entire world-ending event. Now, go back a second. When Luther went like this to touch number 5, and number 5 grabbed him in the past now, I'm thinking, did number 5 think he was going to pull his eye out? I don't know why I think this, but if you watch it again, because in editing, I watched it several times. If you watch it again, Luther goes like this to kind of touch him, and it's right near his face, and number 5 freaks and grabs his arm and is like, don't touch me. I don't need your help. But it was almost like number 5 was like stopping him from pulling his eye out. Now, I don't think Luther was going to pull his eye out, but it reminded him of that because then the flashback happened. So it has to be related. But I'm almost thinking, are they foreshadowing that Luther pulled out number 5's eye in the future? But it doesn't make sense because then number 5 has both his eyes. But we've already proven that number 5 was in an older body in the future. And now he's young again, but his older body had both eyes too. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming and throwing crazy theories out there. But for some reason, I think that was either foreshadowing. Maybe it was just him thinking back to when he found Luther holding the eye and it just freaked him out. But I don't know. I'm just winging stuff at you guys. I'm not saying, obviously, everything I think isn't factual. I'm just spitballing ideas out there because I'm letting you guys know what I thought on the fly. So now, anyway, back to the future. Arm sticking out, eyeball, pulls it out of Luther's hand. In the background is a wagon with a torso of a mannequin. That can't be a mistake. That's got to be a coincidence. If you missed it the first time, go back and look at episode 2. Right after he pulls the eyeball out of Luther's hand, there is a mannequin torso in a wagon in the back. That can't be a coincidence. It had to be Dolores. Now I'm led to believe even further he had no one. There literally must be no one left on Earth. In the future, where he was for 40 years, he must have lost, or at least 40 years, maybe longer. He must have been losing his mind. So now I don't know if we can believe. If you could be in love with a mannequin, then we can't trust anything this guy says right now. Not that he's lying, he's just batshit crazy. Unless he knows that that's crazy to love a mannequin and he just knows nothing else because of his situation. But that's nuts. That's Dolores in the wagon behind him, which means that's the second he arrived. So he then goes and finds dead Klaus, dead Allison, dead Diego. Now, also, all the bodies are completely intact. Why, if the world ended and their building is incinerated to rubble, why are they all like still, they're like scuffed up with little dirt marks and stuff, but they're all like completely intact? Is that also just because it's like being comic booky and that's just the world we live in with these people? Or is there an actual scientific reason why their bodies are completely intact? I don't know what to believe yet. I don't know the show well enough to clarify the rules. But as we see, they're all dead in the future, but their bodies are all intact, and it ends us on Klaus's arm umbrella tattoo. Crazy episode. Loved everything that happened. So many questions. I've named them all in my review just now. I hope Allison and Luther start showing some powers because they're getting boring and annoying. Number 5 is insane, and the audio, the montages, the fights at the ends of both episodes with the music added in. I know I hate that I can't show them because of the audio, but the audio makes the show. So I guess I can't hate on it. Both episodes, the final scene with the future assassins and number 5 were the best. But Vanya, very interesting. Pogo, don't trust him either, but I am leaning more to the positive. Reginald, I don't think he's dead. I never thought he was dead since the beginning. My theory right now is that's Reginald's eye. Reginald is not dead, that he created all this. I don't even know for sure if number 5 is really in the future. Maybe Reginald has some crazy ability where he can mind control them or something like that. I don't know. Too many questions to even pinpoint an exact thing. But just spitballing off of what I know, I think Reginald's not dead. I think he is controlling all this, and I believe that eye for Meritech is Reginald's eye. Also, remember, he was missing his monocle. Why is he wearing the monocle? I don't know. Monocle has one eye. Is he missing is the eye from the eye with the monocle? Is that how he lost the monocle? And then that would mean Luther grabbed the eye and Diego has the monocle, but Diego found the monocle. I don't know. I feel like Reginald is the key to all this, but I ain't going to bother thinking of anything further because why freak out that much when I'm going to watch episode 3 right now? So, you guys let me know what you think. Comments down below. Like and subscribe. Awesome show, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.